I have some good friends who are very able communicators of the gospel who were stumped by a question in a very public setting regarding the existence of God. And the question is the same question that I have for this session together, and that is, how do you respond to an atheist who says, I just believe in one less God than you do? Well, my response is simply, you're right. You do believe in one less God than I do. I'm not exactly sure what the atheist thinks he gets out of that admission. I have a suspicion what his line of thinking is, and I'll get to that in a moment, but just think, it's that one less God than I do that makes all the difference. That's like a bachelor saying, I have one less wife than you do. You're right, that makes you unmarried and me married. I don't get it. Where does this go? And if you're confronted with that question and you just simply admit to the fact that he believes in one less God than I do, then you should ask him, all right, you're right. And therefore, what? And let him do the heavy lifting at this point to explain why this is significant. I don't see how it's significant at all. Now, here's what I suspect is going on. I think that the atheist is looking at the panorama of beliefs in God, like the Roman pantheon and the Greek pantheon and all these other false gods that we don't accept, nor does he. And we reject all of those gods, but we accept the God of the Bible, the God of the Jews. And he just rejects all those other gods along with us, but one more. Now, I don't know why that makes his rejection more intellectually compelling. He seems to think it does, and that's what I want to find out why. But for my part, the reason I reject all of those other gods and all these other pantheons is because I have no good reason to believe any of those gods exist. But I do have good reason to believe the God of the Bible exists. It's that simple. So just counting up gods and dismissing a whole group of gods and believing in one, this doesn't somehow make the atheist case. We dismiss a bunch of gods because they're not believable. We accept one because he is. We are willing to give our evidence for that. They got to deal with the evidence. Just looking at the fact that they believe in one less God than we do doesn't in any way address the evidence, and therefore doesn't in any way substantiate their view in atheism. It just doesn't work. Be sure to ask the question, why does that make a difference?